And this is why you buy the 8700K. Hi everybody on YouTube, Supersider here, and I know it has been a while since I've uploaded my last video. I've been struggling with the question on how to proceed a little bit. My last video was a build of my new computer with the 8700K, and it has been one of my most successful videos ever, with more than 37,000 views. I mean, you know, thank you so much for watching that video. If you haven't seen it yet, you might as well click on the button. No, it's shameless plug. I don't, whatever. Anyway, I first want to show you my BIOS screen, and also show you, I mean, the clocks I have, the overclock that I've got running, the voltage, and all that kind of stuff before we jump into numbers and then performance and that kind of stuff. So I will put up the BIOS screen right now, and you can see here, I mean, this is the overview of a Aorus Gaming 7 motherboard. You can see my V-core of my CPU is running at 1296. You will actually see that I've got it running on 1.3 a little later. You can see it's also running at 5 gigahertz, and my frequency of the RAM is 3600 megahertz. As I will go into the settings here, we'll go into advanced. And I actually didn't change anything here. The only thing I did actually change was, of course, the clock ratio of the CPU, and I also enabled profile 1 of my XMP profile, which is, of course, kind of important to do. Then I, of course, went into these settings, and the only thing I really changed here is the turbo ratio, which I changed to 50, and the other things are just remaining on automatic. So that's for all those settings, which is not a lot, of course. Advanced memory settings here, got enhanced performance, put the timing to manual, but I didn't really change anything. I just made sure the profiles were profile 1, the profile, make sure everything is done correctly. Now this is a very important thing. The load line calibration should be on turbo, otherwise your overclock will probably fail. You will not be able to get into Windows, or maybe if you're in Windows it will crash. So make sure you've set it to turbo. You can also see that my V-core here is 1.300. In the BIOS it will flicker around a little bit, but it's definitely 1.300. Didn't change anything here, and I also did not change anything for all the other settings. They're mostly on automatic. And these settings actually make sure that my overclock works. And I'm actually talking about, of course, the load line calibration. Also make sure that you go to chipset here and you disable the first two options, VTD and the internal graphics. Once you have disabled that, you'll make sure that your overclock will be more stable, because what I've seen, if these options are turned on, might actually also crash your computer. So if you've done all that and your overclock works, great. Fantastic. I will now show you how long it takes for my computer to boot up. As you can see here, this actually is the boot up screen, and you can see from going from the BIOS to actually into Windows will probably take like 20 seconds, and I'm ready to log in. So there you have it. That's my BIOS screen, and I know, boom, other clothes and stuff, but I'm recording this on different separate days, but whatever, that doesn't matter. So those are my settings for the 5 gigahertz on the overclock on the CPU. And of course, this brings me towards the benchmarks. First, I've lined up some synthetic benchmarks like Cinebench. I also have Geekbench and PC Mark. And I would like to start out with Geekbench first. So here it comes. And as you can see here, Geekbench is running, and my cam software jammed it a little bit. But you can definitely see that the CPU will ramp up to the 5 gigahertz. CPU temps are around 70, 71, maybe 72 degrees. and you can definitely see that Geekbench, that Cinebench is doing its thing here, and ultimately it will come down to a score of 1580 points, which is kind of a lot. I think it's a lot. It's fast. After that, I also did some Geekbench, and with Geekbench, I managed to get a score of I think 6,300 on single and 29,000 on the multi-core scores, which I will show right now. And that's a little bit higher, of course, than the I7-8700K, which will have 6,000 on the single score. Of course, multi-core score. I mean, the 7700K will get 20K, and this is almost 30K, so that's a massive improvement. Other than that, I also have PC Mark 10. PC Mark 10, pretty standard program here. I know a lot of people are still using PC Mark 8, but PC Mark 10 has some advancements in some levels that, really, I like to see. Therefore, I chose to go with PC Mark 10. Also, if I click View Online here, you can see that my computer is faster than 99% of all results. So if this does not tell you that my computer is fast, I don't know what will tell you that my computer is fast, to be honest. So there you go. So that ultimately is for like the synthetic benchmarks. I decided not to do that much, that many, I mean. Because this will give you a good look at how fast this CPU and the system already is. Now, I will look at 3 different games. The first up is Batman. I think Batman Arkham Knight. Then I will move on to The Division. And then I will move on to something that is extraordinary, and that's Battlefield 1. And in Battlefield 1, you will definitely see my CPU shine. So let's move into Batman Arkham City right now. As you can see here, my new computer is on the left. My old computer here is on the right. Now you can also see the the frames per second from both systems, and you can also see that for my new computer, my graphics card is running a little bit slower because I wasn't overclocking or anything. I was just doing the test. But even, not overclocked, my GPU all the way up, you can definitely see that the FPS on the 8700K is significantly higher, of course, than my old computer, which is a 3930K. Most definitely, you can see that when it moves into this little thing here. My new computer is getting like 130, 40 FPS. My old computer is getting 90, 100. So that's definitely a nice difference to see. It doesn't really tell you that much. So after that, I went to this Division benchmark. It's a standard benchmark in the game. And just like Batman, the game before this, it doesn't say that much. It's like it does not justify to buy a CPU that is like this expensive with a motherboard that is this expensive to only gain so little. And that's what I mean with that. You can see here that we're definitely going into like a GPU bottleneck here, even though I have a 1080 Ti. But you can definitely see, of course, my new computer has a lead, has a couple more FPS. Of course, it's a little bit more steady. The frames come better. It's like, of course, the low end will be better. Like everything will be better with the better CPU. But it does not give you more frames per second, which I would have hoped, of course. So after I saw this, I went back to the drawing board, as they say, and I was and I thought, what is a real game that takes advantage of the CPU and is CPU heavy? And then I was like, okay, GTA is a game that does that, but this game, Battlefield 1, is really CPU heavy, and now you will see my 8700K shine. So if you play this game a lot, this CPU will definitely help you to get to the next level. As you can see here, on the left you have my new computer, right, old computer, and you can definitely see the difference here. New computer is running like 160, 170, maybe even above that FPS. Old computer is struggling to get 100, maybe 120 in some cases, which means there is like, on some levels, there could be a difference well over 50 FPS, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous a lot. So this tells you that an 8700K will give you an advantage in some cases, and this is why you buy an 8700K. So ultimately, after these synthetic benchmarks, after some gaming benchmarks, I thought I was missing something. I thought, I need some kind of finale. I need something that really shows you the power of this CPU. Now, then it started me thinking. I was like, I'm using an editing program for the last, 4 years that I've been on YouTube, making YouTube videos, almost 4 years. And this editing program, I'm talking about Adobe Premiere, of course, uses pretty much everything that your computer has, especially the CPU to render the images for the video. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take my PC build video that I uploaded a long time ago. If you haven't seen it, again, you can see it. What if I take that video? What if I click render and see how much faster my 8700K is compared to my 3930K? And the results will definitely surprise you how much faster my 8700K is. So let's just jump into that. Okay, let's look at this, right? So I'm booting that up now, and you can see here my new computer is on the bottom and the old computer is on the top. You can also see the difference in temperatures. You can see the difference in, of course, megahertz. You can also see the difference in RAM usage. So you can see the entire package. If it goes a little bit too fast for you, you can definitely slow down the video and look at it at your own pace. I mean, that's completely fine. But you can definitely see that my 8700K is a lot faster. I do have to say that I sped this up like 1,000%, which of course means like 10 times faster. Otherwise, we'll be sitting here for like 12 minutes, and will hear me talking about all kinds of stuff. And at some point, I will probably be not knowing what I want to talk about anymore. So I thought it would be a good idea to just do it 10 times. Anyway, you can definitely see that my new computer here is taking a massive lead over my old one. Ultimately, the video is exactly the same video, of course, exactly the same project. I just copy it to like the new computer pretty much. And as you can see here, ultimately it would give me 11 minutes and 56 seconds. My old computer, of course, still going on, still trying to do its best in rendering the video as fast as it possibly can do that. Ultimately, I thought, you know what, let's skip through this because we all know what this is. So I'll just give you the final score here, and it's 20 minutes and 16 seconds. So it's not twice as fast, but it's still a lot faster. The 8700K. So there you have it, the 8700K. You've seen some synthetic benchmarks like Cinebench. You've seen some games, especially Battlefield, which is a really CPU-intensive game, which really takes advantage of the new technologies in the CPU. Of course, the CPU is faster. Everything, of course, you can definitely see like a huge difference. And of course, in Adobe Premiere, like my new CPU almost being like twice as fast as my 3930K, which is also a 6-core CPU. Like, I hope that I've been able to help you decide whether this is a CPU for you or not. And if I could, then I of course am very happy that I've been able to help you out. If I've missed something, then please let me know in the comments down below. And maybe I'll do a follow-up video if enough things come up and maybe I missed too much, let me know. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like down below. Also subscribe for the next video, and I'll see you guys soon. And I promise sooner than 2 months. See you soon. Bye bye. Peace out.